My Beloved Masters, composed by Śrīla Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Śrī Śrīmad Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. The messengers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Vani. Once Guru Maharaj, then known as Śrī Hayagriva Brahmachari, Śrī Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, then Śrī Siddha Śrīrūpa Brahmachari, and Śrī Śrīmad Bhakti Rakshak Siddha Gosvāmī Mahārāja were invited to preach at a 3-day spiritual function in Sylhet, East Bengal, now Bangladesh. On the first day in his address, Śrī Siddha Śrīrūpa Brahmachari made use of very straightforward but harsh and immoderate words while establishing the superiority of teachings of Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu over the popular Mayavad philosophies prevalent at that time. He referred to Vivekananda, whose name means one who takes bliss in having intelligence, as V. Vivekananda, or one who takes bliss in being ignorant, and to Ramakrishna Paramhans as a Ramahamsa, or a large but worthless swan. Upon hearing these epithets, many residents of Sylhet became irritated. That night, leaflets were published and distributed all over town, denouncing the Gaudiya Math and demanding the cancellation of the function. The event faced such great opposition that the next day, Śrī Hayagriva Brahmachari met with the convener, the district judge, who expressed his concern about safety and advised us to cancel the remaining 2 days of the function, just to rule out the possibility of any undesirable incident. Śrī Hayagriva Brahmachari assured the judge that the speaker who had used incendiary words the previous night would most definitely not be speaking again, and that only he and Śrīla Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Mahārāja would address the audience. The judge replied, "It is on your assurance alone that I will allow the function to continue. I will make all the necessary arrangements for providing increased security, but please be mindful of the content of your Harikatha." The next evening, the venue was filled with antagonistic objectors. Śrī Hayagriva Brahmachari was the first to address the crowd, and he began by praising the hospitality of the Sylhet people. After he finished his speech and established his objective, he conceded the podium to Śrīla Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Mahārāja. During his presentation, Śrīla Maharaj said, "Our Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Siddhānta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, has taught us that in our preaching, we are delivering the message of Swayam Bhagwan Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. Our only purpose in coming here is to deliver, through fearless yet fair speech, the Vani means the teachings that incessantly flow from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, the natural commentary on Vedanta Sutra, as it has been presented by Śrīmad Mahaprabhu and our line of Guru Varga, such as Śrī Raghunath Das Goswami, Śrīla Jeev Goswami, Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and others, who make up our Bhagavad Parampara. We are not here to preach with the apprehension and shyness of a lady hiding her face behind a veil. What to speak of the philosophical doctrines of personalities like Sri Shankaracharya, Jaimini, Patanjali, Kannad, and so on? The ideology manifested by Swayam Bhagwan Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu is unparalleled and vastly superior to the ideologies established by even the previous 4 Vaishnavacharyas, Shri Ramanuja, Srila Madhvacharya, Shri Nimbaditya, and Shri Vishnu Swami. Through his teachings, he has highlighted the shortcomings of such doctrines and has conclusively defeated all erroneously fabricated philosophies. Therefore, in our presentation of Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's ideology, how is it possible that ideologies of persons like Vivekananda, Ramakrishna Paramhans, and Bhandarkar will not be contested? Moreover, we are simply messengers of Śrī Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Our duty is merely to deliver his teachings. If anyone in this assembly has any objections, he may kindly address them to Śrīmad Mahaprabhu, Śrīla Vedvyas or Śrīla Rupa Goswami. Although we have unflinching faith in their Vichardhara, means the line of ideology, we will undoubtedly surrender to any person who can present an ideology superior to that presented by Śrīmad Mahaprabhu. But if such a person is not present in this world, what intelligent being would be unwilling to follow or feel uninspired by such a highly auspicious spiritual path as one described by Śrīmad Mahaprabhu and his followers? Śrīmad Bhagavatam has clearly described Shri Krishna as Swayam Bhagwan. Ete chamskala pumsaha Krishnastu Bhagwan Swayam. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 1.3.28. All these avatars are either plenary portions or portions of plenary portions of the Supreme Person, but Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Furthermore, Krishna himself has stated in Bhagavad Gita that he is the ultimate object of surrender in such verses as Sarva dharman paritajye mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshyami ma shuchaha. Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita 18.66. Completely abandoning all dharma, take shelter of me alone. I will free you from the reactions of your sins. Do not lament. Man mana mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru mam evayashi satyam te pratijani priyasmi me. Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita 18.65. Offer your mind to me, become my devotee, worship me and offer pranam to me. By this you shall attain me. I swear this truth to you because you are dear to me. Ananyas chintyo mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nitya bhuktanam yog shem vahamyaham. Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita 9.22. For those who are devoid of other desires, who are always absorbed in contemplation of me, and who always worship me, I personally carry their necessities and preserve what they presently have. Therefore, what benefit is there in accepting the ideology of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, who advocates the worship of devatas, demigods? Such worship is averse to Śrīmad Bhagavatam 4.31.14, which has firmly established Yatha taror moola nishchanen tripanti tad skanda bhujok shakaha prano aparancha yathendriyanam tatheva sarvahanam achutta jaya. Just as pouring water on the root of a tree nourishes its trunk, branches, leaves, and sprigs, and as giving food to the stomach nourishes all the senses and bodily limbs, all the demigods are automatically worshipped when one worships Shri Achyuta, Bhagwan. The philosophy of Vivekananda is Jivya Prema Kare Je Jan Se Jan Sevyeche Ishwar. One who has love for living entities actually serves the Supreme Lord. However, we see that his followers kill and eat animals, and we must therefore conclude that in this slogan, the word Jiva as used by Vivekananda refers only to human beings, but the true meaning of the word Jiva refers to all living entities. You should all deeply consider these points. There is no need for us to say anything further. You are all free to make complaints against any imperfection in our methods of delivery, but you must know for certain that the philosophy we have presented remains immaculately pure at all times, without the slightest trace of contamination. After Śrīla Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Mahārāja concluded his speech, the audience responded with thunderous applause. Indeed, they were truly pleased, and they requested that the organizers extend the function for an additional 15 days. In this way, the preaching of Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's Vani in the city of Salite was a great success. As Salite was a city renowned for its good quality lime, the residents, in their appreciation, arranged for a wagon load to be used in the service of whitewashing the walls of Sri Chaitanya Math, the temples at Yogpith, and other buildings in Śrīmad Mahaprabhu's Sridham Mayapur. Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was accustomed to speaking in a forthright manner that some may have found unpalatable, but he never presented anything other than Shrautavani, the teachings descending through the Bhagavad Parampara. This was appreciated by the authoritative personality Śrīla Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Mahārāja, his senior Godbrother, who defended the content of his junior Godbrother's speech that day in Salite, proclaiming the truth. Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was considerably bold and straightforward in his lectures. He would never hold back when refuting others' mistaken philosophies, nor would he attempt to avoid confrontation by speaking indirectly. Because of his impartial nature, he spoke in the same manner publicly as he did privately. Once while preaching with Śrī Śrīmad Bhakti Bhakti Gosvāmī Mahārāja, Śrīla Mahārāja, then Śrīla Siddha Sarup Brahmachari, very forthrightly and unambiguously established the supremacy of pure bhakti over any and all pseudo-devotional religions, included within the proverb Jatamat Tatopat. There are as many paths to attain God as there are ways to see Him, and that this popular slogan amounts merely to Mishrita Bhakti or mixed devotion. Needless to say, a number of people were greatly perturbed by this assertion, and they began to oppose the Gaudiya Math. When Shri Kunj Bihari Vidyabhushan Prabhu, the secretary of the Gaudiya Math, related this event to Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada said, "While the scriptures affirm that Siddha Sarup Prabhu has spoken the truth, the harsh language he used should never come from our mouths, be that as it may. His words have spread our message to such a large group of people that it would have cost us 1 lakh rupees otherwise. For this service, I will award him a Shri Gaur Ashirvad certificate." Footnote: a certificate conferring the blessings of Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and grant him the special title Vidya Vagisha, which means the best orator of true knowledge. Write that down, Vidya Vagisha, and reserve it for him. His appreciation of my determination. Once, due to the carelessness of railway baggage handlers, the hand of one of the uninstalled deities of Shri Radha Krishna I had sent by train to be installed in a mutt in Krishnanagar was damaged. Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was present when I received this news, and he asked me, "What will you do now?" "I will first seek compensation from Indian Railways," I replied. "After that, I will decide how to further proceed." He advised, "You should give up any hope of receiving compensation. It is very difficult." Then, as he spread his arms wide open, he said, "Trying to get money from Indian Railways is like trying to fish it out of a hole as deep as 7 times the distance between my palms right now. It would be better to solicit a devotee for funds and have another deity made quickly." Ultimately, I decided I must at least make some effort to collect our rightful compensation. After investigating a great deal of energy into the matter, I eventually managed to pressurize Indian Railways to reimburse us for the cost of uninstalled deities, and after some time we received the payment. When I notified Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja of this success, he said, "You have made it back from the house of Yamaraj, death himself. Only a determined devotee like you is able to protect the wealth meant for the service of Bhagwan." Gifting me a nursing kocha. One day during the time I was dealing with a lawsuit to remain the tenants illegally occupying the appearance place of Srila Prabhupada in Puri, Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja approached me with concern for my well-being. With the affection of a guardian, he said, "I will have a nursing kocha made for your protection. You must wear it at all times. You have no idea what harm these people might do to you." Sure enough, some days later he brought me a nursing kocha prepared by his godbrother, Shripad Krishna Keshav Brahmachari. When he gave it to me, he showed me his arm, which bore a nursing kocha, and said, "Look, I too wear one." Although I accepted the nursing kocha he gave me, I faced an internal dilemma about whether I should wear it. I thought it over and concluded that if I were truly surrendered, and if all my efforts were intended purely for the service of Bhagwan, then indeed no one would be able to cause me the least bit of harm or even so much as bruise me as long as he wishes to accept my service. Furthermore, since Bhagwan is the one accepting my service, the responsibility of my protection lies with him alone. Why should I independently endeavor to protect myself? For this reason, I was unenthusiastic about wearing the nursing kocha. However, since it was affectionately given to me by Śrī Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, I always kept it with me. To this day, it is stored safely in my closet. When we eventually won the lawsuit, Śrī Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja told me, "You have snatched this meal right out of the tiger's mouth." "Maharaj," I replied, "what capacity do I possess to snatch a meal from the jaws of a tiger? It is by the power of Srila Prabhupada's disciples such as yourself, by your good wishes and mercy, that we have become instruments in fulfilling our Guru Pad Padma's desire." Srila Maharaj then said, "Maintain this kind of submissiveness is the key to gain rightful and eternal entry into Vaishnava Dharma." Under the guidance of Guru Maharaj, a huge festival was organized at Srila Prabhupada's appearance place in 1978 to commemorate his Vyasa Puja. At that time, Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja was the first to donate toward the construction of the mutt there. As he handed me 1,000 rupees, he expressed his happiness and bestowed many instructive blessings upon me. His appreciation of Shiva as the greatest of Vaishnava. I had the great fortune of accompanying Guru Maharaj a number of times to festivals at Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāj's various mutts. Instead of inviting a great number of devotees all at once for a function, Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja preferred instead to invite a few devotees at a time. The prasad he served during those small events always consisted of the best ingredients. Once, while showing Guru Maharaj the deity of Shivaji he had installed in his mutt in Sri Jagannath Puri, Srila Maharaj explained, "Although my name was previously Shiva Shankar De, I always disapproved of the worship of Shiva, deeming him to be a demigod in the mode of ignorance. But now, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, I have realized that it is impossible for one to obtain the grace of Vishnu without first obtaining the mercy of Vaishnavas. That is why I have built this temple for Shiva, the topmost among all Vaishnavas. Perform or perish." The land Guru Maharaj has acquired in Kolkata for establishing Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Mutt included an old one-story building that needed to be raised in order to construct a new building. During the building's demolition, Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja visited the site. After observing us in our work, he asked me, "This place has been beautifully built with the most exquisite materials, like Italian mosaic flooring, Belgian glass windows, and even the door and window frames are made from top quality Burmese teak wood. Yet, you are knocking it all down. Are you out of your mind? Why don't you simply construct levels on top of the already existing building?" When Madhav Maharaj arrives, tell him that Siddhāntī Maharaj visited this site and has advised against demolishing the building. I personally conveyed Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Maharaj's message to Guru Maharaj, who asked me, "If your goal is to throw a stone at this nearby door, how will you do it?" In response, I mimicked softly tossing a stone with very little force. Guru Maharaj then asked, "Now if you intend to throw the stone somewhere far, how will you do it?" I then mimicked throwing stone with much greater force. Guru Maharaj concluded, "Similarly, the higher we aim, the better our efforts to achieve our goal will be." Upon reaching a country he wanted to attack and conquer, Napoleon would either burn his ship or intentionally sink it, boldly signifying to his soldiers that their only option was to perform or perish. When he ordered his army to cross over the Alps mountain range, most of the soldiers were dumbfounded and said, "It is impossible." Napoleon replied, "The word impossible exists only in a fool's dictionary. When a person is left with no other option but to act, he makes his best efforts to accomplish his goal. But if he given the slightest leeway, he thinks endlessly without acting. It has been rightly said, necessity is the mother of invention. Therefore, demolish that building so that we may be compelled to act and construct for ourselves a place to stay. Moreover, we need a much bigger hall for Hari Katha and Kirtan, even if it is only a tin shed without opulent decorations." While Guru Maharaj's words filled my heart with great energy and enthusiasm, I also understood Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's concern for the protection and preservation of something beautiful that could be used in Krishna Seva. Although these two godbrothers had different views, I was able to grasp the depth of their relationship, and I knew in my heart that Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja did not feel the least bit offended that Guru Maharaj did not adhere to his advice. After the construction of the Kolkata branch of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math was completed, Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja attended the inauguration festivities. When he inspected the Kirtan hall and the quality of its construction, he appreciatively noted, "You have done a great job. This is fantastic. I only mentioned you should not demolish the previous building because I thought you did not have enough funds to create something as beautiful as this." Publishing Gaudiya Vaishnava scriptures. Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja published an unprecedented edition of Śrīmad Bhagavad Gita with a Rasik Ranjan commentary of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the Gita Bhushan commentary of Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, and his own Anubhashya commentary. He also published a few Upanishads like Isha, Katha, Mandukya, and Gopal Tapani Upanishad with his Tattva Kana commentaries, as well as the three books Shri Ujjwal Ninvani Kiran, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Bindu, and Bhagavad Amrit Kana. He also rendered tremendous service to the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya by publishing Vedanta Sutra in Bengali with Shri Baldev Vidyabhushan, Govind Bhashya commentary and brief commentary thereon, along with an assisting explanation of his own called Siddhant Kana, which he fortified with references from Śrīmad Bhagavatam and Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja endeavored tirelessly to publish this particular book, and his godbrother, Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Bhudev Shroti Gosvāmī Mahārāja offered extensive assistance in proofreading. Whenever a new book was released, Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja would hold a festival and say, "Just as Śrīmad Bhagavatam is verily the divine form of Bhagwan, the literatures that have been written in the light of Śrīmad Bhagavatam and further endorse the doctrines presented therein are non-different from Śrīmad Bhagavatam and are therefore just as worshipful as Bhagwan himself. It is only fitting to commemorate the divine appearance of such literatures in the world by organizing a festival, spreading the teachings of Bhagwan's pastime through dioramas." Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur engaged his disciples in performing Kirtan of Vishuddha Chaitanya Vani, the immaculate message of Sri Chaitanya, by publishing and distributing countless spiritual books, newsletters and magazines, as well as by sending Nishkinchans, footnote, one who accepts Shri Krishna as one's only possession, preachers to various locations. Although most people could grasp the concept this publication and Vaishnava preachers presented, there were still many who could not. Concerned for the welfare of such persons, Srila Prabhupada, whose heart was always full of compassion, granted them the wonderful opportunity to understand the pristine message of Sri Chaitanya Dev by organizing Shat Shiksha Pradarshani's, exhibition that involved beautiful dioramas and displays along with appointed representatives to explain the various spiritual teachings they depicted. These exhibitions were organized and led by such stalwart Vaishnavas as Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Rakshar Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Hridaya Van Goswami Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj. In addition to the exhibitions, silent magic Lalten films produced by Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Prasun Bodayan Goswami Maharaj were also presented. Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja gave this conceptual legacy of Srila Prabhupada a permanent form of expression when he unveiled in his marts many sculpted dioramas of instructive pastimes from Krishna Leela, Rama Leela, and Gaura Leela. These dioramas were highly beneficial as they simultaneously communicated profound concepts to the general public and brought numerous pastimes of the Lord to the minds of well-informed devotees. His Samadhi pastime. A few of Srila Prabhupada's sannyas disciples, namely Srila Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Vivek Bharti Goswami Mahārāja, Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Surit Paramarthi Goswami Mahārāja, and Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Prapan Dandi Goswami Mahārāja, were not interred with Samadhi burials. Instead, for whatever reason, they instructed their disciples to cremate their divine bodies. Sometime after Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's body was cremated, his disciples established his Pushpa Samadhi at his mutt in Sri Jagannath Puri. After deeply deliberating on the subject, one will come to the conclusion that there is no difference between a Vaishnava's Mool Samadhi or Pushpa Samadhi, because the body of a Vaishnava and the articles related to him are non-different, purely transcendental and equally worshipful. On behalf of King Prataprudra, Shri Nityam Prabhu repeatedly requested Srimad Mahaprabhu to award his darshan to the king, but the Lord firmly refused. However, Shri Nityam Prabhu convinced him to at least bestow a set of his used clothes upon the king as an alternative. Upon receiving those garments, King Prataprudra treated them as not different from Srimad Mahaprabhu and accorded them the greatest honor and respect. Just as Srimad Mahaprabhu's clothes are not different from himself, the divine body of his realized devotees and the items they use are similarly not different from those devotees themselves. Such objects remain equally worshipful and worthy of respect even after they enter Nitya Leela. The actions of our Guru Vargas are not to be questioned. Once after the disappearance of Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, I attended a festival at his establishment in Puri, Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mutt and Asan. There Shri Mukund Pandit, a disciple of Śrī Śrīmad Bhakti Vichar Yayavar Gosvāmī Mahārāja, was closely inspecting the deity of Shri Vrinda Devi that had been installed there. Pointing to her nose ring and the other ornaments with which she was adorned, he asked one of Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja's disciples, "Who had this deity of Vrinda Devi made?" "It is our Gurudev," the devotee replied. Shri Mukund Pandit further inquired, "Has she been manifested in accordance with the specification of scripture, or simply by some sort of fanciful imagination?" The disciple innocently responded, "Our Gurudev would have been able to better explain. I do not know." Although I generally never commented on anything unless requested, I considered that in this case, to remain silent would have put me at risk of committing an offense, for Shri Mukund Pandit had voiced doubt about a deity installed by my Guru Varga, Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Therefore, interrupting the conversation, I asked him, "Panditji, is it proper to harbor doubt even after learning it was a recognized authentic Vaishnava who installed this deity? Could such an authoritative personality like Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja ever do anything unauthorized? The truth is, Śrīla Mahārāja has manifested this deity according to the descriptions found in Shri Vrinda Devi Ashtakam composed by Shri Vishnu Chakur Thakur. Bimba dharoti vara mandhasya nasagra mukta dyuti dipritasya vichit ratna bharana shriyade vrinde numaste charanar vindam." O Vrinda, your countenance is especially radiant, illuminated by the gentle smile rising on your bimba red lips and the pearl on your nose. Your beauty is enhanced by various jeweled ornaments. O Vrinda, we offer pranams to your lotus feet. I concluded, it appears you have never read this Ashtaka attentively. Shri Mukund Pandit fell silent, and I felt satisfied for having rendered some service to Śrīla Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Śrī Śrīmad Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Gosvāmī Mahārāja, composed under the editorship of Śrī Śrīmad Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosvāmī Mahārāja. An effulgent gem. Almost all of our godbrothers are, one by one, making their grand departure to join our Shri Guru Pad Padma, who has long since entered the eternal pastime of the Lord. Each and every one of these godbrothers embodied extraordinary and divine specialities. It is impossible to find anyone who can fill the void they have left. Thus, the Gaudiya Vaishnava community has gradually become thoroughly deprived of its precious jewels, and our worshipful Siddhāntī Mahārāja was once such a effulgent gem. His great service to the Gaudiya Vaishnava community. The most worshipful Prabhupada had a special desire to publish and circulate Gaudiya Vedanta Acharya Śrīmad Baldev Vidyabhushan Pad Shri Govind Bhashya commentary on Vedanta, as well as the Isha, Keen, Kath, Prashan, Munduk, Etrin, Tetri, Chandogye, Brihad Aranyak, Shvetashad and Gopal Tapani Upanishads, complete with Anvaya, means word-for-word translations that follow the sentence structure. Pujyapad Siddhāntī Mahārāja dedicated himself to fulfilling this cherished desire of our most worshipful Śrī Śrīla Prabhupada, and thus, by accomplishing this great service for the Gaudiya Vaishnava community, he became a recipient of Prabhupada's profuse mercy. Accepting Śrīla Prabhupada's shelter, Pujyapad Mahārāja appeared in an aristocratic devotee family in the Barishal district of East Bengal on 22nd October 1906, on the 5th day of the waxing moon during the holy month of Kartik. He first came to the lotus feet of most worshipful Śrī Śrīla Prabhupada in Kolkata in January 1924. In March of that same year, on the auspicious occasion of Shri Gaur Purnima, he received Maha Mantra and Mantra Diksha initiation from Śrīla Prabhupada and was given the name Shri Siddhu Sarup Das. A life of dedication. Being completely captivated with Krishna, he joined the mutt at a very young age, when he was still in school. However, according to the desires of his parents and elderly family members, he was ordered to return to his home and finish his studies. After quickly completing his schooling, he returned to the mutt sometime around February of 1928 and to the utmost degree dedicated his life to the service of Shri Guru Pad Padma. A distinguished speaker, Śrīla Prabhupada and the Vaishnavas under Śrīla Prabhupada's guidance were immensely pleased by Shri Siddhu Sarup Dasa's sincere service efforts. As tokens of Shri Guru Pad Padma's pleasure, he was awarded the Shri Gaur Ashirvad titles Updeshak, means instructor, Maha Updeshak, great instructor, and Vidya Vagish, master of knowledge and speech, by the Navdeep Pracharani Sabha. As a brahmachari, he accomplished expert senior Tidandi sannyasis like Tidandi Swami Śrīmad Bhakti Pradeep Tirth Maharaj, Tidandi Swami Śrīmad Bhakti Vivek Bharti Maharaj, Tidandi Swami Śrīmad Bhakti Rakshar Sridhar Maharaj, and Tidandi Swami Bhakti Hriday Van Maharaj to various places in Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, Madras, Andhra Pradesh, and West India. He also preached in many places with Nitya Leela Pravesh Param Pujyapad Tidandi Swami Śrīmad Bhakti Daita Madhav Maharaj, who during the manifest time of Shri Śrīla Prabhupada was known as Vagmi Pravar, Shripad Haigri Brahmachari Prabhu. Gradually, by the grace of Shri Hari Guru and Vaishnavas, he emerged as a distinguished speaker. Those members of the aristocracy who were earnest and appreciative became deeply attracted to his fearless and potent expositions of the proper verdicts of Scripture. Although he was severely opposed by several narrow-minded atheists who interpreted his words as an attack on their interests, he never hesitated to expound the truth, which dispels the goal of illusion in accordance with the ancient tradition of those who have heard it from an authoritative source. For this reason, he became the recipient of the most worshipful Prabhupada's profuse mercy, presenting the essence of the scriptural teachings. In 1941, Pujyapad Siddhu Sarup Brahmachari Prabhu accepted sannyas from our godmother, Shri Bhakti Vigyan Ashram Maharaj, and adopted the name Tidandi Swami Śrīmad Bhakti Śrīrūpa Siddhāntī Maharaj. In each of these three mutts, the Pujari devotees worship unprecedentedly beautiful deities of Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Govindji. Additionally, the walls are adorned with striking depictions of Shri Gaura Leela, Shri Krishna Leela, and Shri Ram Leela that capture the essence of the scriptural teachings. Simply by viewing these depictions, earnest viewers receive the fortune of accumulating much knowledge of the proper verdicts of the scriptures. These descriptions remain on display even today, but since Pujyapad Maharaj is no longer to be seen, viewing them simply causes our hearts to drown in anguish. Kripa kori Krishna mor, diya chilo sang, swatantra Krishna ichha, hailo sang bhang. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ante Leela, 11.94. Mercifully, Krishna gave me his association by Krishna's independent will, our exchange has ended. Excerpts from articles published in Sri Chaitanya Vani, Year 25, Volume 11.